Kia ora, it's Mike Atkinson. This presentation looks at safety checks before leaving the ground, so the really important things that need to happen before anyone leaves the ground in climbing. So one job that someone can do is to flake or spaghetti the rope. Now this achieves two things. By running the rope firmly through both hands, you are from one end to the other, you are checking for any irregularities in the rope, so any soft spots, abrasions, cuts, any core showing through, anything like that that could be a sign that the rope is damaged. And you can see in this insert picture, you can see that the sheath or the outside of the rope has been damaged. So you're checking for that, and the other thing it does is it allows that the rope will run tangle free when a climber is leading, so that you don't get any tangles or bird nests, clusters of rope stuck. It means that holding up the belayer, which then holds up the climber. So once the rope has been flaked and checked, then the climber checks the belayer's harness and helmet, make sure they're on properly, and importantly checks that the ATC or the belay device, whatever device they're using, is threaded correctly. Right, the rope's threaded the right way, and that the locking bina is done up through their belay abseil loop. And the belayer checks that the climber is tied in correctly, so they've threaded the rope through the two tie-in loops on their harness, and that the knot, the re-threaded figure eight that they've tied in with, is tied correctly, and that there is either a handspan tail or is tied with a stopper knot. One way to check the figure eight knot is tied correctly is just to do a count of in twos of the rope, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bits of rope, and looking like a figure eight, nicely symmetrical through here. Needs to be a check that the climber has all the appropriate gear for ascending the climb. Right, so quick draws, and then the appropriate gear for what they're going to have at the top of the climb. So are they going to abseil off, and therefore do they have the abseil device and prussiks? The abseil device and the prussik are usually the two things that are commonly forgotten. And finally, the final thing before it leaves the ground, climber leaves the ground, is just a discussion between the climber and the belayer to clarify what's happening at the top of the climb. All right, so both are clear that the climber is either going to abseil off, be lowered off, or something else at the top. So both really clear before you leave the ground what's happening at the top of the climb.